So there are two questions everyone asks when they find out that my partner Bridget and I don't own a car. The first is, how did this happen? Flyover country, everybody seems to think the car is still a necessary piece of equipment. And this was ours, a 1998 Subaru Forester. It was a goodly car. We could put a canoe on it. The thing about 13-year-old cars is if you decide to drive them into the ground, they will take you up on that in the most inconvenient time possible. For instance, December 2011, on the way to my mom's surprise 60th birthday party. We spent that weekend finding out way too much about cylinder head gaskets than we ever wanted to know. We did make it to the party, though, 40 minutes late. So on our way home in my grandma's borrowed minivan, which we would take to call Vanna, Montana, we pondered our options, and the same questions kept coming up. Do we really need a car anyway, and can we make a different choice? So we resolved to bike as much as we could. Commuting was actually the easy part. Bike camping trips and rides out to North Oaks to family cookouts required special equipment like racks and padded bike shorts and things like that. I got to give a shout out to Metro Transit. The Green Line is opening this weekend. Finally giving us all a good reason to go to St. Paul. And there's Nice Ride, which is handy if you catch a flat. But like the Starks say, winter is coming, and it came for us in a big bad way this year. This is where Minneapolis and St. Paul set themselves apart from Portland. When the rivers freeze and the summer ends, we don't put our bikes away, we just get bigger tires. There's no great secret to riding in the winter. You don't even really need a fat bike or special equipment to do it. You just go a little slower, you wear some extra layers. The beard of ice is strictly optional, but cool. So the title of my talk is kind of a lie. We actually drive all the time. Car shares like our car provide all the benefits of car ownership without all the hassles of having to actually own one. And they even have pickup trucks for putting your garden in. Car2Go is in Minneapolis in a big way. And if the St. Paul City Council votes the right way next week, starting in July, it'll be all over St. Paul too. According to the app, there are 5 of these parked outside right now, and I hope there's one waiting for me when I'm done tonight. So, which do you use? For me, it's not an either-or question. I say join both. They work really well together, like taking your Car2Go to get to your Our Car reservation. So the second question everybody asks me is why? American culture is really car culture. We're brought up to kind of worship our cars. And if you need any proof, just watch any live televised sport ball event and count the number of car ads. But at the risk of starting a political argument, we're burning a lot of dead dinosaurs, driving all these cars around. I live in Minnesota because I like the winter, and I would like us to keep having it. And also, AAA does this study where they figured that it costs us $9 grand a year to own cars. And one expense they don't take into consideration is parking, which costs a lot. I can buy a lot of cycling-themed t-shirts for that. So with all these cars around, with all these bikes around, you'd think, 4% of all trips in Minneapolis are by bike, which you can burn a lot of calories on bike rather than sitting in traffic. So what are the objections? So you have kids. Well, I'm told it's a lot of fun to bike with kids. And my friends with kids are always talking about modeling positive behavior. I can't think of anything more positive than biking with your kids. Or you take a lot of out-of-town trips. Like I said in the beginning, my family lives in Wisconsin. We get out of town plenty. We just rent cars to do it. The rental process is pretty painless these days, and I have yet to have one of these cars blow a cylinder head gasket. Or you live in the burbs. Well, then your watchword is multimodal. All of Metro Transit's various forms of transport have space for bikes. Instead of letting your car sit at the park and ride your bike and take it with you. 40% of all trips by car are less than 2 miles from your home. You might want to consider how many of those you can do without your car. You might be surprised to see you don't really use your car as much as you think you do. So I'm not telling you to go out tomorrow and sell your car. Just try to drive it less. You'll save a few bucks, you may drop a few pounds, and you might leave the planet a little cleaner than you found it. Catch me on Twitter. That's my time. Thanks.